Could any story be so ancient as to challenge the first Elvian songs? Such musings would provoke laughter in the halls of the Elvian bards, their melodies cascading like waterfalls through the ages, their pride as enduring as the silvered light of the stars. To the Elvian, their songs are the genesis of history itself, the first notes that stirred the silent void. But in the deep places of the world, where sunlight is a stranger and the air tastes of stone, the Dugrast know differently. Every Dugrast child learns the truth as surely as they learn the heft of a hammer or the shape of a pickaxe. The soil, their elders teach, is the skin of the earth, soft and fleeting. Vegetation is its fur, sprouting and withering with the fickleness of seasons. But rock, unchanging, unyielding, is the earth's bones, enduring where all else fails. It was the stone that was shaped first, in the raw and untamed forge of creation, long before Elvian voices graced the air with their lilting melodies. And if the Dugrast are born of the stone, as their traditions claim, then surely they are the eldest of all races, the first children of the primordial forge. Their history is etched, not in song but in the bones of the earth itself, in the carved halls and runes that even now whisper of ancient secrets. While the Elvians sing of twilight grace and golden ages, the Dugrast stand in silence before the monolithic truths of the world. Let the bards laugh in their high halls, the Dugrast know better. For long after the songs of the Elven fade into the echoes of time, the stone will remain, and with it, the enduring legacy of those who claim it as their birthright. The Vortecs, thought annihilated, proved harder to kill than legend would have it. A remnant survived, clinging to life by tooth and nail. Barely a few hundred souls endured the frozen gauntlet of Enternivora's icy wastes, a place where the wind howled like a dirge and the snow buried its victims like a shroud. When they reached the gates of the Dugrast, the secretive dwarves who dwelled beneath the froststone peaks, they were little more than frost-bitten ghosts. Yet the Dugrast, bound by their ancient laws of hospitality, took them in. Beneath the mountains, in vast halls warmed by the earth's deep pulse, the Vortecs found refuge. The dwarves, masters of stone and keepers of earthbound magics, offered them a fragile sanctuary in their subterranean cities. It was there, amid the glow of magma-lit forges and the whispers of stone spirits, that the Vortecs began anew. Even in their diminished state, the Vortecs retained the pride of their ancestors. Their high priests and priestesses, unyielding in their authority, kept the old ways alive. They offered the Dugrast knowledge in return for shelter. Star lore charted in the heavens, herbal remedies gleaned from their travels, and fragments of their arcane traditions. With the Vortecs' guidance, they delved deeper into the mountains, uncovering hidden veins of awe and the strange energies of the underworld. For a time, the bond between the two peoples flourished, a rare harmony forged in the crucible of shared struggle and mutual respect. Both the Dugrast and the Vortecs revered the spirits of the earth, their rituals converging in ways neither had anticipated. The Vortecs, with their mastery of arcane crafts, shared knowledge that elevated their hosts' skill to new heights. Under their guidance, the Dugrast learned to manipulate even further the precious minerals of the deep, crafting a material unlike any other, magnificent in strength, lightness, and resilience. From it, they forged armors impervious to blade and flame, and weapons both impossibly sharp and elegantly light. In turn, the Vortecs priests, hungering for power, turned their gaze downward. The depths of the earth held more than stone and metal. They concealed ancient forces, dark and waiting. The priests delved into forbidden magics, seeking to bind the dead to their will, to command the spirits of their ancestors as tools of war. What began as communion with the spirits of the underworld twisted into something far darker, and so their vengeance took shape. The Vortecs returned to the frozen graves of their lost kin, where the bodies of warriors long dead lay preserved in ice. There, amid the howling winds, they performed their unholy rites. The dead rose, their flesh blackened with frost, their eyes aglow with ghostly fire. An army of revenants marched forth, a force born of rage and despair. To the dwarves, necromancy was an abomination, a betrayal of the natural order. Worse, it was a betrayal of trust, for the Vortecs had been given shelter and friendship. Reluctantly and with heavy hearts, they cast the Vortecs out. The will of the Dugrast people had been reshaped by necessity and destiny alike. It was time to abandon their secretive lairs and rise to meet the surface world. The Vortex legacy, a haunting reminder of the darkness that could swallow Aeurth, had become a clarion call for a world in desperate need of protectors. No longer could the Dugrast remain hidden in the shadows of the mountain. Their strength, their resolve, was needed in the light. The Dugrast king echoed the will of his people, and for once there was no dissent, no whispers of doubt. From the depths, the sound of their great drums began to rise, the ancient rhythms pounding through the stone and into the open air. The halls trembled with their unified will, and the sky, for the first time in ages, bore witness to the voice of the Dugrast. Their march had begun.